Good afternoon, friends. It's Friday afternoon. I believe it's the 16th. Just bear with me. Yeah, Friday the 16th of April, year of our Lord 2021. I've had a new client come in today. Bought me two guitars, the likes of which I've never seen before. Well, I've kind of seen them, but I'm going to show you the first one. And this is a full-size Explorer based on the original Gibson Explorer. It is huge, it is heavy, it is fat, and it is quite fantastic looking. Look at the thickness of that. Full thickness, super weight, glued in neck. What a great thing this is. And it is not a Gibson, it is a vintage. But this is one of your old type proper John Hornby Skewes vintage guitars. This is when Trevor Wilkinson was working with them. I don't know how old it is. Don't know what the serial number is saying on there. Vintage John Hornby Skewes product designed in association with Trevor Wilkinson. That's right. There are some hip shot tuners on there, been added by the owner. Didn't come with a truss rod cover. Wow, what a weight. But what's up with it? Well, plays like a bitch. He says fretboards everywhere, especially up top end. So he's going to want me to have a look at that. Black hardware on there, don't think that's original. Looks like it had gold hardware originally. So I bet these are Wilkinson upgrades on there. Wilkinson pickups, don't know what they are. Hip shot tuners. I'd imagine it's got a volume, tone. So master tone, bridge volume in the middle, neck volume at the front there. Freeway selector. Not checked the neck, not checked anything. It does have a it's like a tusk type nut on there. I say tusk, I mean like a Graphtec type affair. Looks to be a little bit better than the graphite nut. Just looking at the matte relief in a minute, looks to be pretty much bang on, that does. We're looking at around about 0.2 millimeters at the 7th fret, 0.2, 0.25 would be good. I personally prefer to go with 0.25 under the 7th fret. 0.2, 0.25, it will be great. Let's have a look at it. Oh, okay, we're just a hair over 0.25, so a bit too much relief in there. Don't know what it needs. I'm going to plug it in, have a listen to it. He says it's fretting out up here, up its top end, so I'm going to get it plugged in. The case in this, by the way, look at it. It's like a longboat. It is huge. It's one of those Epiphone gubbins. It is massive. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 foot. That huge case, massive. Look at it. Get that out of the way. He's put a note in the case. I'll have a read of a note in a minute. Turn my amp on. I'm going to plug this in, have a little play with it, and I'll come back and let you know how I get on. Right, I've plugged the guitar in. I've played it. The pickups are, I don't know what pickups they are. I know the Wilkinson, they are amazing. This guitar sounds absolutely fantastic. It is a shredder's or a metaler's delight. So I'm sure it's good for many, many styles. They're quite high output pickups. Sounds amazing. I would be inclined to drop some heavier strings on there. Now, the owner of this guitar wants 942s on it. He's told me he wants 942s on it. So I'm going to set it up with 942s. I would like to see it set to 10s or maybe even 11s on this. Depends what you're going to be playing, obviously. Sounds fantastic, really, really good. But what I'm going to do next is, there is some fret buzz, there is some fretting out and some dead notes here and there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the strings off. We're going to have new strings on here anyway. I'm going to take the strings off and we're going to get the neck dead straight. And we are going to check the frets. But before I do that, I'm going to do the setup on the guitar how I think it ought to go. Now I've got the right amount of relief in the neck. So I'm going to set the string height to my preferred. I'm going to set it up how I set a guitar up. How I would have it set up for myself. And so I'm going to be looking at an action of, or a gap. So a 12th fret. From the top of a 12th fret to the bottom of a string. I'm going to look at about 1.75 this side. A little bit higher this side. Looking for a 1.5 on the treble side. This is 1.5 on the treble side. So it's 2 millimeters on this side. So I'm inclined to drop we'll bridge this side until we're down to 1.75 here, which we now are. So 1.75, well, just shy 1.5 there. So that's going to knock everything out of tune. Right, we are 1.5 that side, we are 1.75 this side. That's where I like to be. I know we're out of tune now, but what I'm going to do is, because we've got the right amount of relief, or just about the right amount of relief, I'm going to check the gaps above the first fret for starters. Because I would be thinking these strings are far too high. If nothing else, that's going to cause tuning problems, or it's going to cause playing problems, because when you bar an F chord, F sharp, even a G chord in these areas, all your notes are going to be sharp. It's because you're pressing down too much, you're stretching the strings and you're stretching everything out of tune. So the nut slots need sorting out. For starters, I'm just going to get a feeler gauge under there. Again, measurements. I always have a set of prescribed measurements in my head. And this side, which is above the first fret, from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, you can't really see from where you are, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just going to drop the camera down just a little so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So, action at the 12th fret, top of the fret, bottom of the string, 1.75mm, 1.5mm. Gap, top of the fret to bottom of the string. This side I'm looking at about 0.3mm, this side about 0.2, and we'll gradiate down. These are always my safe go-to measurements. You can always alter a little bit more if you want to. Even more with a little bit more if you want to. You could get that to 0.1 on the treble side, but I don't like taking the mickey. So let's have a look here. That's close to being okay. A string's way high, D string is way high. So look at the way high, way high, way high. All the strings are way high and way above where they need to be. So we're going to definitely cut the nut slots. But what I'm going to do next is, I'm not going to do the setup. I'm not even going to check the intonation with these strings on. I'm going to remove these strings. Now these are locking tuners. Not a lot of room for manoeuvre on these. We're looking to get a full wrap round there. I do like a full wrap round them, but then again, these are so short. Problem with there's locking tuners and stuff like that is, once you've tightened them and loosened them, you tighten them again, they're likely to snap. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep these strings because I want to use these strings when I do the setup after I've worked on the guitar. Just to save me running a brand new set on there and having to loosen them, tighten them and this, that and the other, and they're gonna snap here. So just gonna remove the strings. I'm not a fan of locking tuners, never have been. All they do is saving you putting wraps around the post. That's it. You're not able to keep reusing strings because they're going to snap. They always do snap on the point of locking, I find. So once you've locked them, you've tuned them in, and you're going to keep altering the setup, they're going to snap. You're going to waste a set of strings. Never been a fan. Just going to remove these strings, like I say. Very, very nice guitar, this one. Very nice. Heavy. Definitely a once it's set up right, be a Gibson Beta. Be a fantastic guitar. I bet this wasn't expensive as well. On its day, 250, 300 quid maybe? I don't know. I've got no idea. So these are Diodario strings. I'm going to keep hold of these because So I can be using these when I set the guitar up, and then once I've got everything set up right, I can put the new set of strings on. 942 is a bit light for me. I don't use 942s on my telly. I use 1149s on my telly. Right, some noise outside, some commotion. I don't know what's going off. Nothing I can do about that was appropriate. It's not a quiet street, this, especially in lockdown still. But, you know, I won't get on with it. So I've got these strings off. Let's see, we're going over and under, just make sure I get these wrapped right. So that's the strings off and put away. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look, check the frets. Okay, still got a bit of relief in there, so I need to tighten the truss rod. Should be a 4mm adjuster. T-bar, I always use T-bar adjusters, always have. Oh, that was a little bit. Okay, oh, that truss rod works, crikey me, I've had to turn that quarter of a turn, it's gone back bow in there, had I? So look, see where we are. We do like a working truss rod in this workshop. Now there is some tension on that truss rod whichever way I go. Okay, we've got a straight neck there. What I'm going to do is, before anything, I'm going to find out where the neutral point of this is, see if it's a two-way truss rod. Right, it certainly isn't that way. Right, it's a two-way. There's your neutral point. That's slack. So that's neutral. So it is a two-way truss rod. Means we can put back bow in it, or we can put relief in it, whatever we want to do. So we're going to have relief, I'd have thought. No, we're not. We have got some back bow, so I need to turn this wrong road. So we're going to turn it anti-clockwise to get the neck straight. And that's got rid of the back bow just about. It should be dead straight with no tension, but I've had to turn it backwards to remove that back bow. Still got a little bit. Let's have a good look there. Right. We now have a dead straight neck, which is brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to check frets. We'll put a stop toe piece up there. The bridge. It's a Sung Il Korea. Decent brand. Very good brand actually. If you're getting Korean gear, Sung Il's pretty good. So we are going to check the frets. I'm going to grab a permanent marker. Fret rocker, 4 straight edges, precision straight. This is the best one I've found in all the ones I've used, made by GMI in Greece. And we're going to check the frets. So far so good. No high frets at the moment. If there's no high frets and it's buzzing out here, we've got one there. So we've got one high fret, fret 5 in 2 areas. I've split this into 3 areas, 2 the centre, 1, 2, 3. So we've got a little bit of extra height on areas 1 and 2 of there. I'm thinking this is a guitar, it's probably having problems more to do with setup, because these frets, even though they're high in these areas, this one is in area 2, not that high. And if it's fretting out, and there's not any high frets, oh, that was really high. That's causing a lot of problems. Anything above the 12th fret is going to have problems. But I think this just needs a proper setup. Right amount of relief. But let's see. Okay, high there. Okay, areas 1 and 3, you do find this. So that's 4 frets. With that one. If we can get away with a spot level, we'll go with a spot level. No. Oh, that's massively high. This is causing you a problem. That is, crikey bee, it's 1/3 of a millimetre high, this fret. That's causing all your problems. That means everything's going to buzz below here. That is massively, insanely high. And there. Okay, we're going to need a fret level. What I'm going to do with these frets, I'm also going to tap them down and see if that changes anything. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 7 high frets. It's not terrible. I'm going to see. I'm going to knock these in with a fretting hammer. It still means I've got to recrown them. We'll knock them in with a fretting hammer, just see if we can get some of these to settle, because if we can get it down to 5, it's going to save the guy 40 quid. We have 7 high frets, but 2, that's monstrously high, that one. That's quite high. So we have 2 really bad frets. That's not as bad as I thought it might be. But this one, just wow, listen again. I should never have passed QC. That's 1/3 of a mil high in the centre. Astonishing. Okay, so 7 high frets. So, going to get a hammer, going to tap them down, see what's what. Then I'm going to let the owner know. If it stays like this and the frets are all high, I'm going to have to do a complete fret level. If I can get some of them to sit correctly, and get it down to 5, I could just spot level those 5, and like I say, that will save £40. So we take my fretting hammer, excuse me, frog in my throat. I'm just going to tap the high spots, supported well underneath. Sometimes they're just not seated right. Okay, still high. Still high. Let's try this one. Go with the nylon end. Okay, we'll fix that one. That one's still a problem, but this one seems to be fine now. So we've got it down to 6. Support under the frets we're going to be hitting. I'm going to give these 2 a go. Still high there. That seems to be fixed. And that seems to be fixed. So I think we've got down to 5. Okay, yeah, just check this one again. It's a little bit high. Come on. There you go. Got it down to 5. That's just saved him 40 quid by tapping those in. This one. So instead of having a fret level, we're now going down to an intensive setup, which is going to save a lot of money. Intensive setup's 80 quid. It's where I'm going to spot level for up to 5 frets. Okay, that's still high, which I expected. There you go. So we've got it down to 5 frets. Just check these again. Needs a tiny bit. Oh, hang on. Check this one. Okay, that still needs work. That one doesn't. That one still needs work, but this one next to it doesn't. So we've got it down from 7 frets to 5 frets. It means we're going to do an intensive setup on this. I'm going to spot level these frets. It means I'm just going to level this way. So I'm not going to scrape all of them. I won't actually recrown and polish all of them. Just the 5 I'm going to work on. The 2 also that I've tapped back in, I'm just going to actually reprofile. I'll chuck that in as a freebie. So we're going for an £80 intensive setup on this one. I'm sure the owner will be very pleased about that. So I am going to let the owner know I'm going to do exactly the same on his other guitar. I'm going to give it an appraisal and see what I think, and I can give him a total for both guitars. Okay, we are going to level these frets that need levelling on this Explorer. I've just been across with fret rocker. We have 7 marked off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to work from this end. We're just going to check, because I'm only charging for 5. That one doesn't need work anymore. This one still does. That's the worst one right there. No wonder his notes were choking. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, with this one that doesn't need leveling anymore, with the black pennies, we are just going to re-crown using a crowning file. And all I have to do with that is just as much as that. That's it. Because I did tap it with a hammer, we might have some flat spots. Now we don't. We're just going to check that again, and that's absolutely fine. So the main one we've got to level is this one, because I've knocked it in with hammer and it's still 1/3 of a millimetre high. And there's a lot of material to remove from that one, so I'm going to use my flat file made by Valorbe, Swiss file. I've had this a number of years now. It's a number 4 cut, so smooth. Smooth yet sharp, beautiful file. I love this file. So just a matter of holding the file steady and just finding the radius. When you'll find it, you'll know where it's high, because I know how a radius works. And I'll just do a few strokes and we'll come back and we'll check. Still high there. It's not too bad at all. I do need a cloth. Do I have a cloth knocking about? I do not. I've had one somewhere on this bench. Okay, whiz it, here we go, we're over here out of the way. Always clean the file between uses. Again, steadying the file, nice gentle strokes. And what I'm doing with this is I'm flattening the top of the fret. I need to rebuild that crown, but I'm going to rebuild it just by using the crowning file. I'm not using my Z file today, I'm not going to need it, because we're not removing that much height. So again, checking the fret to see that we're level. And we are now level. Always check one back to see if it's altered the relationship with the one behind it. And it hasn't that way, but it has there. So it's altered the relationship with that one. We're a little bit high there now, so I'm just going to alter the one next to it. See, if you remove material from one fret, it's going to alter the relationship with the 2 frets or the fret next to it. So we're just going to check that we're fine there. No, it's still high there. And this is the reason that I don't like to do a spot level. I always like to do level the lot, because that way everything's getting levelled. But here, I alter that one, it's got to alter the relationship with that one, possibly that one. And that's it, we've got that level now. And the one next to it just needs a little scoot over with the profiling file. So, that one there, that one there, and this is the one we're removing main material. So we're going to really give this a good profiling. And I can see metal being removed there. Always clean the file. You're always going to get something off it. There you go, look. Now let's check the level of these 4 we've just touched. Beautiful. beautiful there. I'm happy that we're now level all in this area. This one just this side of this one. Again, I'm that experienced at doing this, I can just reel this off and make it look really easy. It is not as easy as it looks. You've got to make sure you keep this file level, otherwise you're going to dig into the wood. You don't want to be doing that. It's only this side now where it's got a little bit of a high spot. Let's check that again. That's good. Check one back and one forward just to make sure we're all level with the ones around it, and it is. Again, it's only because of my experience and I know what I'm doing. I make it look so easy, I suppose. Not that it's a difficult job, it's certainly not a difficult job for me. But you start faffing about with frets and you don't know what you're doing, you can end up levelling the whole lot. Right, let's have a go on that one. And now that's level. Go one forward and one back. And that's good. So this one here is going to need some attention, I believe. Yep, just in that area. Again, clean the file. Hold it level. I don't need to hold it level, I can just use it and know that it's going to be level anyway because I do this all the time. But just to show you guys, finger underneath, just to hold it level there. Still high there. Just in this area between area 1, area 2, just in this area between 1 and 2. Spot leveling is more difficult because you make a mistake, you're going to be leveling a lot when you're going this way. When you're doing them all that way, you're not going to make a mistake because you're going to level them all. But this you've got to be absolutely bang on. You do get a feel for it. If you keep your file even, you will find the high spots. Well, that's it. I'm going to go one back. See, that's also the right relationship now. That's high on this side now. So we've got to go one back now. So instead of doing 5 frets, we're going to end up doing 7 again. And it could be even more. That's why I don't like spot leveling that much. It'll get you out in a pinch. Oh, that's good. We've got away with it. We've done it. So I'm just going to recrown these two. And then again, that's also a relationship with that one. So, and that's why we don't like spot leveling. And now we're there, that's good. Check again, that's good, we've now got the frets level. Back one. Tiny little bit on that one as well. So we've now ended up doing, I think it's 9 frets rather than the 5 we're charging for. It's why spot leveling is awkward and difficult. Two more to do. That one's okay. We don't mark off it, we did hammer it back in, so that's good. Very, very nice guitar, this Explorer. One of the best Explorers I've probably had in here. And it's a vintage, very, very well made guitar. That's good. So just check this last fret. Near side, far side just a little. More on this near side, just to probably 1 stroke or 2 on the far side. Far side, check it out, that's good. Near side, just a little bit more. Check 1 back, 1 forward, and that's it, the leveling's done. Just re-crown this one. And that's it. The levelling and the crowning is done on those 5 I needed to do. Probably ended up working on 9 frets when all said and done. It's not difficult work. And that's that. So I'm going to polish the frets next. Just going to polish with steel wool. I got the pickups covered up. I'm not going to show you me polishing frets. Really easy. Using some superfine steel wool, cover the pickups so we don't get any filings stuck to the magnets of the pickups. And once that's done, I'm going to treat the fingerboard with some mineral oil, you know it is lemon oil. And then we'll start getting the guitar back together and move on to the setup. I have skipped on a little bit, got the strings on. I've set the guitar up, got the right amount of relief in the neck. They've got the right action at the 12th fret, and I'm going to just check the nut slots for the correct height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a feeler gauge between the top of the 1st fret and the bottom of the strings, and I'm looking for measurements around about 0.3mm gap at this side, 0.2mm gap at that side on the treble side. So grab me a 0.3. Don't need to press anything at 1st fret, 19th fret, what have you. We're not doing that. We're not checking relief. We're checking the action of the strings above the 1st fret, and we're just going to have a quick look. The E string seems okay, just buzzing. A string's high, the D string is high, and let's get 0.2 go on the far side. So we're going to get my nut files out in a minute. So we're going to go 0.2 on the far side and just have a quick check. That's high. That's high. All these strings, but all of the strings are high bar the low E. So we're going to grab it uses a 942 set. I'm going to cut these for 1046 because it's kind of a standard string. We're already cut for a 1046 set. So let's have a look at, so should have a set out here. 26, 36, 46, that's for this side, and we're going to need a 10, 13, 16 for the far side, or 10, 13, 17. These are Hosco nut slotting files, great piece of kit. I have the 11 set, Hosco, they're brilliant files. I think these cost me round about, well not round about, they cost me 125 quid. So we're just going to check the low E again. Can go a little bit lower than that. Right, the guitar is in tune to D flat. It's D flat standard. All I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to cut any depth, I'm just going to flare open. Make sure we just cut. And I'm just going to give it a couple of... The great thing about these files is they cut the perfect U shape. They're a great file set. That's a 0.046 inches. We're just going to make sure that's wide enough for a string. So, to be 0.3 that side, not 0.2. So I'm going to gradually gradiate down towards 0.2. So 0.3, 0.28, 0.27, 0.25, 0.24, 0.22, 0.2, round about there. So we're going to move on to the next string. Always clean your files after use and they'll stay sharp and last you years. So, and keep checking. Don't remove too much material from your nut because you'll be replacing it. Got a fair bit to remove there, so we're going to grab the right file, 0.036. Nice and steady, horizontally. Do not scratch the frets, otherwise you'll be levelling the frets and repolishing them. And on your last stroke, angle it slightly back toward the headstock. A good buzz on this one. Happy with that. Move down to 0.25 for the next string, which will be your 26. A couple of good cuts in that one. So swap files again. Doesn't normally go this well. Probably could. I mean, I'm experienced at this. Kind of know where I need to be, but this is going extremely well right now. Again, same with this one. Nice, gentle strokes. Don't go mental. These files are sharp. Like I say, you go too deep, you'll be replacing the nut. Cost time and money. Just buzzing on 0.25. That's perfect. Next one. Needs a bit more of a cut. We will be cutting that for a 17 or 0.017. I don't have a 0.017, I have a 0.016. So what I tend to do with these is just slightly angle after a couple of cuts. We're going to check the depth again. Good thing about this, it means the strings are lower toward the first fret. It means when we play a bar chord or notes around this area, we're not going to go sharp. We're going to stay in tune, but that needs a little bit cutting out of this. Again, these files are very sharp, so don't go mental. Couple of strokes, one down toward the tune, and then I'm just going to go an angle there and an angle there, just to flare it a little bit wider than the 16 it's giving us. .25 feeler gauge. Not quite buzzing yet, we can go a little bit lower than that. We'll go at an angle just to flare it a little bit wider. That's looking good. Just go a little bit more. Well, that's it, that's that one done. I'm going to get the next two done off camera. Once that's done, we'll stretch the strings in and we'll finalise this video. And there we are, all done. And what a fabulous guitar this is. It was one of two guitars bought in by the client, a new client by the way. Unfortunately, the other guitar he bought in was, it's just that bad. I've told him to send it back to the manufacturer. Now, he did buy it 3-4 months ago and he couldn't get it into me, but I got him to contact the company he bought it from and told them what I found with the guitar. And it's another video, I'm not going to tell you about it now, but they have said return it at your cost, and if we find it to be wrong or not right, or as the guitar tech says, we will refund you. Well, I absolutely guarantee it will be refunded because it has 12 high frets. The truss rod doesn't work, well, the neck is not straight. The truss rod needs one full turn to get it anywhere near straight and in the wrong direction. But anyway, back to this guitar. So it's a vintage, John Hornby Skewes vintage Explorer. It's probably one of the best Explorers I've had in this workshop, bar my own. It sounds amazing. It's got Wilkinson pickups on there. I don't know what they are. They're just brilliant, fantastic sounding guitar. Plays really well. It does play well now anyway. Came in, the lad's not been able to play it since he's had it just about. Or has he? Hang on. It's never been any good, he says, never stayed in tune, blah blah blah. Well, it did need a turn on the truss rod, half a turn anti-clockwise to get the neck right. Also, he had high frets all at this end, which I've levelled. I think I've levelled about 9 frets I only charged him for 5. I should have done a complete fret level by rights, but I just did it by spot leveling, so I've saved him 40 quid there. So all in all, this has had an intensive setup, 80 quid. I've worked a lot of frets, took me a lot longer than it ought to have done. I also, out of my goodness, I saw it didn't have a truss rod cover, so I made him one by hand. Cut it by hand, shaped, sanded, beautiful, fits well, apart from the hole that is in the neck has a bust screw in there, so I can't use it without getting that screw out, and that's going to make the hole a lot bigger. I'm not going to do it. It was going to be a freebie. I'm going to put this in the case and say, you want to put a screw in that, there you go, you have got a truss rod cover. I've made that for you for nothing. Thought it'd be a nice gesture there. I was hoping to have it all fitted and ready, but can't. But anyway, let's just show you the guitar before we put it away. Let's explain what we've had again. We're basically a fret level, complete setup, restring, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a lovely weight. It's a proper size Explorer. I love Explorers. It's one of my favourite guitar shapes. I have my own Explorer. I've had one for years. In fact, I've many Explorers over the years, and I just love them. They're fantastic. But there you go. It is all done. The fret level is going to make a massive difference. This guitar is going to play superbly. The pickups and electrics are absolutely fine. The pickups are amazing. But that is it. A vintage Gibson Spec Explorer. Fantastic guitar. Wilkinson pickups on there. All Wilkinson hardware, I imagine. But that one is done. So I'm going to move on to the next project. Just remind you my websites before I do. You've got fredfrent.co.uk. Best place, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I am Victor. I am your fret friend. And until the next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you in the next one.